अल्लामा पिरज़ादा मोहम्मद इमदाद हुसैन साहब मद्ददल्लाहुल-आली, उनके लख्ते जिगर और नूर नज़र माशाअल्लाह हज़रत साहबजादा मोहम्मद अल्लामा मोहम्मद बख्तियार पिरज़ादा वाइस प्रिंसिपल जामिल करम, आपकी खिदमत आलिया में अर्ज़गुज़ार हूँ कि अपने मवाइज़ हसन शेख में मुस्तफ़ीज़ हूँ।
नाराए तकबीर, नाराए रिसालत, नाराए हैदरी, नाराए पीर, या तस्कीर को सरातम जिंदाबाद।
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह वहदा, वस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला मन ला नबिय्य बअदा, अम्मा बाद, बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। Honorable Mashaikh, respectable scholars, elders, brothers in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Firstly, it is a great honor and privilege for me to be attending this spiritual gathering, this Urs gathering, in honor of Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Yaqub, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi.
MashaAllah.
It's also an honor to be present here in the company of His Eminence, Peer Dr. Sajidur Rahman Sahib,
MashaAllah.
whose respect has been instilled in our hearts from our noble father. Also in the company of Sahibzada Peer Sultanul Arifin Sahib,
MashaAllah.
whom I first met in 1998 when I was 18 years old and traveled to Egypt to study at Al-Azhar University.
MashaAllah.
And it was the final year of Qibla Peer Sultanul Arifin Sahib.
Subhanallah.
So during that 1 year, I was able to have numerous and regular meetings with him and sitting in his company, and I learned a great deal from his commitment and dedication toward his studies.
MashaAllah.
And I learned from that. I'm here on behalf of my father, Sheikh Muhammad Imdad Hussain Pirzada Sahib, who has great love and respect for Peer Dr. Sajidur Rahman Sahib.
MashaAllah.
Every year when this Urs program is held here, he's never missed it. He comes every time.
Bilkul.
But now, due to his age and other commitments, he now does not travel anywhere.
MashaAllah.
He doesn't go anywhere, and he has secluded himself in his room where he is focused on his writing and research. So he ordered me that I can't go anymore, I don't travel, but you must go and present and represent me in this gathering.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
I have personal respect for Dr. Sajidur Rahman Sahib.
MashaAllah.
I am inspired by him, and I will give you the reason for it.
MashaAllah.
My tradition that we follow is our leader in that was Hazrat Ziaul Ummat, Justice Peer Muhammad Karam Shah Sahib, rahimahullah ta'ala, who I know that is the teacher also of Peer Sultanul Arifin Sahib.
MashaAllah.
His teaching has been central to our life and work that we do at Jamia Al-Karam.
MashaAllah.
And that teaching is a statement that he used to say. And he used to say that the ulama, the scholars, the Muslim leaders of today, they must have both of their eyes open.
Wow, wow.
The eye on the deen and the eye on the dunya.
MashaAllah.
What he meant by that was that our ulama and our leaders,
Bilkul.
they must understand their religion, their tradition of Islam properly. At the same time, they must also understand and appreciate and know about the context in which they live, the world in which they live, how that world functions, how the society around them functions. They must understand the context of time and place. If both of these eyes are open, then just like the Anbiya-i Kiram, these scholars who are inheritors of the prophets, they will be able to serve Islam and serve humanity properly. If either of these eyes is closed, then if, for example, your deen is deficient, but you know the dunya, then you're pretty much a political leader, but you're deficient in your understanding of the deen. If, however, you've got knowledge of the traditional sciences, but you do not understand the world in which you then you will be considered a backward scholar, someone who doesn't relate to the world we live in. Therefore, both eyes have to be open. Now that is a teaching that we follow, that is a teaching in our tradition. In that respect, I have personal admiration for Dr. Sajidul Rahman Sahib, and he is a model and an inspiration for me in my personal capacity as a mere humble student in front of him. That not only is he representative of a spiritual tradition, not only is he a traditional scholar, not only is he well versed in the traditional sciences of our deen, not only is he the bearer of the spiritual legacy of our tradition, not only is he an educator and a teacher of Islamic sciences, but at the very same time, he is an absolute and scholar today representing Islam in society. He has been sitting at the very highest levels of expressing the message of Islam in today's world, whether that be as a chancellor or a vice chancellor at the International Islamic University of Islamabad, whether it may be running a school that is a very successful school in Pakistan, whether it may be the fact that he was a khatib at one of the most important landmark mosques in Pakistan, and even today, at this very moment, though we're sitting in a spiritual gathering, though we're sitting at the feet of a spiritual sheikh of tariqah in front of us, but even today, he is a board member of the recently established Rahmatul Lil Alameen Authority by the present government of Pakistan, which tries to highlight the importance of the seerah in today's world, and he is sitting there. For us, this is an honor. For us, this is a mark of respect that a traditional scholar, a traditional Pir-Sahib, a bearer of the tradition is still effective and suited to address the wider academic world of today. This is the reason that me, Bakhtyar, as an individual young student, has respect for Dr. Sajidul Rahman Sahib, in addition to the fact that our father has instilled his love and respect inside our hearts.
MashaAllah.
Another dimension, and this is the point that I will leave with you as a message for yourselves. Deen and dunya, what I just talked about is scholars to have an understanding of the deen and the dunya. Another dimension where we talk about deen and dunya, in our own, me and you, our circumstances, is the pursuit of deen and dunya. That are we pursuing deen, coming closer to Allah Ta'ala, or are we pursuing the dunya and going after materialism? Today we live in a complex world. All of us are aware we live in a very difficult time period. Muslims are struggling all over. Even non-Muslims are struggling, but as an ummah we are struggling. Whenever we look, each one of us on social media today is busy in recognizing that we're suffering. We're in turmoil. There is chaos. There is a hadith of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in which he once said, a time will come when the entire world will pounce upon you, jump upon you, like hungry scavengers pounce upon food. The Sahaba Ikram asked, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, will we be small in number at that time? Rasulullah alayhi salatu wa sallam replied, no. You will be large in number. But there will be two issues with you at that time. One is your fear of death. You will be fearful of dying. You will want to live very long. And second is going to be your love and pursuit of this dunya. Going after this dunya. Today, me and you have to ask ourselves the question that what is it that we are pursuing? The golden age of Islam, and I'll finish with this, the golden age of Islam, when Muslims were an empire of a civilization built upon knowledge, ruling this world. At that time, they had deen and dunya, but the deen that overwhelmed the dunya. Deen was more dominant over the dunya. The dunya was there, lekin the deen was in control. Today, we might well have a bit of deen that we do. Now and then on a Friday, we may well turn up in the masjid. Now and then we might recite a little bit of Quran. Lekin daily when we wake up, all our energy, all our discussion is how I can make more money, how I can get more properties. All of this dunya is temporary. We will only succeed as individual and as a community if we have both deen and dunya, but the deen and the spiritual side of our deen, that must dominate the dunya. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam said, I am a mere traveler in this world. It's like taking shade under a tree. My destination is somewhere else. This dunya is not permanent. This is not where we need to be lost. If we want to change our condition, then we have to go back to the spiritual tradition that the Mashaikh are teaching us, to make the spiritual side more dominant over our pursuit of this dunya. And in relation to this dunya ending, being temporary, and the spirit of a Muslim, our soul getting into the next world and living forever, I leave you with some words of the great teacher and philosopher of our Eid, Allama Muhammad Iqbal, who said, in relation to this dunya, he says, Mujhko bhi nazar aati hai ye bhu kalamuni. Mujhko bhi nazar aati hai ye bhu kalamuni. Wo chand, ye tara hai, wo patthar, ye nagi hai. دیتی ہے میری چشم بصیرت بھی یہ فتویٰ. وہ کوہ یہ دریا ہے, وہ گردوں یہ زمین ہے. But then he says, حق بات کو لیکن میں چھپا کر نہیں رکھتا. The truth of the matter I cannot hide. حق بات کو لیکن میں چھپا کر نہیں رکھتا. تو ہے, تجھے جو کچھ نظر آتا ہے نہیں ہے.
بھائی خوبصورت پیغام آپ نے سماعت فرمایا. اب میں گزارش کروں گا ہمارے مخدوم و محترم جناب مولانا محمد عمر حیات قادری مدد اللہ علیہ کہ آپ تشریف لائیں اور اپنے مواعظ حسنہ سے ہمارے قلوب و اذہان کو منور فرمائیں. نعرہ تکبیر, نعرہ